which one sounded like a Lambo? You tell me. When a company like Porsche builds their own SUV the very first time, like the Cayenne, you have to ask yourself, is this the right move for this brand? Well, Lamborghini has taken the jump and created their own SUV. This is the Lamborghini Urus, and it has a ton of Audi in it. But say you can't get that two-door Lamborghini sports car, but you still want that Lamborghini badge. The Urus is a great option. However, do all of these Audi elements overshadow the beauty of Lamborghini and the driving experience of Lamborghini? Let's go for a drive and find out. Hello, and welcome to the Porsche, Audi, VW, Lambo thing. Hello, and welcome to the Lamborghini Urus, or the Urus, however you want to say it. This is Lamborghini's officially second SUV they've ever sold, the one being the very Hummer-like 002, but this one is based on the Audi Q8 platform. This is a twin turbocharged 4-liter V8 that pumps out lots and lots of horsepower. When you get in this, the very first thing you notice is the interior. It's very Aventador-like. So you even have the fighter jet switch to start the car. You have a digital dash that's very reminiscent of the Aventador SV or SVJ. You have a heads-up display that I can see right now right above the gauges. And also the center console is all screens. So the first time you get in, you look for knobs to turn the AC or anything analog. You're not gonna find it in the Urus. The big debate around this car is it truly a Lamborghini? Is it worth the Lamborghini name? So let's look back at some other SUVs that seemed like risky moves. Porsche Cayenne, Porsche Macan. So Porsche at the time only sold 911s and sports cars, but they really needed help. They were not selling enough cars. So what they did, they built those SUVs, and it really helps the brand out. Now the whole family can have the Porsche. There's a Porsche for every occasion now. Now, there's a Lambo for every occasion. Now, do I wish that they tried to stuff a V10 into this car? Absolutely. Because the original concept, I believe, had a V10 in it. I actually saw the Urus concept while I was at the Lamborghini Museum at the Lamborghini factory a few years ago. And men didn't really look at it that much, but women sure did. I thought that was really interesting. One thing about the Urus too is it's big. This car is massive when you're next to it. It's very tall, but I actually like the looks of the Urus. I like the front of it. The back of it has this aggressive hatch on the back, but the real superstar, I think, is the front of the Urus. To give you perspective of how quick this car was, I was recently on Adventure Drive with Matt Farah and Raffaretti. Matt Farah had a Lamborghini Urus press car, and that car was pulling away from a brand new 2021 Supra by a lot. Like, I couldn't catch him because I was driving the Supra, and it was just laughable to see this giant brick with a Lamborghini logo just hauling down the interstate. When you sit in it, you go, it's a really nice car, but I'm not quite sure if it's a really nice Lamborghini. Does it have the soul of Lamborghini? And it's a tough call. Not to bring it up again, but I think the Urus is a little less of an offender though when it comes to brand sharing than say like the new Supra. Like the new Supra interior, they don't even hide that it's a BMW, like at all. There's no like, oh, you know, it could be a Toyota. Like, nope, you get inside, BMW. You get in the Urus, you look around, you go, this feels Lamborghini. And that might be what's most important to most people is what's right in front of them. The gauge cluster, Lambo. The dash, Lambo. All the freaking buttons everywhere and levers everywhere, all Lambo. But is it a very, very nice car? Absolutely. The steering wheel feels great. The seats feel awesome. Having everything digital is a little bit of a learning curve. We're getting photographed right now. That's Mike and his Gallardo in front of me. As I'm driving this, my brain is just trying to figure out what this thing is. Oh, man. The all-wheel drive in this thing is so good. Lamborghini Urus also has the biggest brake calipers of any production car in the world. Well, why is that, you ask? Well, that is because it's a lot of weight. We're talking over 5,000 pounds to stop this thing. Also, I want to add that the paddle shifters on this are really nice. They're this nice brushed metal, and I really like the feel of these. They feel special. Like, that's what's really making my head all over the place, because I see the Lamborghini badge, and it feels special in here. It does. But the way it drives does not feel Lamborghini to me. I wonder if I can get any sound. It's a pretty quiet car. It's not like the supercars that Lamborghini makes that you get a ton of sound. I also have graphs telling me how much power and torque I'm using in a live feed. It's literally going like this to show how much I'm using. You don't really hear the turbos that much. You definitely hear the V8, but you don't really hear the turbos. What's this? I also have a boost gauge next to my power and torque and my gear selector. Like, this HUD is so cool to me because it does make me feel like I'm driving something special. The thing about the Audi compared to the Urus is that the Urus will make you feel way more special, right? That's why it's $80,000 more. You pay a lot for the Lamborghini badge in this thing, even though the car it's based on is nearly identical underneath. Apparently this has 40 more horsepower, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. For some reason, I expected this car to be a little bit more crazy when it came to the feel of it, but it's super smooth, very unassuming. You're not bothering many people when you get on this car. But I look down and I see this badge with an Italian flag, you know? And it's like, wait, I'm in a Lamborghini? Am I? I don't know. It's cool. I think it's cool that they made an SUV. Could you drive this every day? Absolutely. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that it's a very easy car to drive. It's very user-friendly. Anybody could drive the Lamborghini Urus. I mean, anybody. It's not like throwing somebody in a Diablo or a Murcielago and you're like, should we have given the keys to that guy? I don't think we should have done that. You give the keys to this, if they screw up, man, they do really stink at driving. The back seats of the car can fit 3 adults back there. And I know that because Matt Ferris stuffed 3 adults back there during Adventure Drive and they were completely fine. And that's about it. That's the Lamborghini Urus experience. Sounds good though. It's got that German feel to it. It really does. German cars on camera, as you might have noticed over the years, are very hard to kind of show what they're like because they have this refinement to them that they just work. It's got the Italian interior, but the German everything else. Now, which one sounded like a Lambo? You tell me. Do I like this car? Yes, I really adore this car for what it is. I understand why they use this platform. It made the most sense. The V8 in this is very, very good, but I would have loved to hear some kind of actual Lamborghini engine in this. Is that too much to ask? Yeah, probably. It would have definitely made this car something really special. It kind of reminds me of when the Huracan came out and everybody was like, this is too Audi for my taste. Kind of like how the Audi R8 and the Huracan were essentially the same car. I get that. But at least the Huracan had that screaming Italian sounding engine, right? This is like unapologetically German car. That's the way it feels. This kid behind me just inhaled on a vape. I looked at him in the rearview mirror and as he's blowing out the vape, he's like, nice. I will say though, the seats in this thing are extremely comfortable. I would definitely not argue driving this car across the country. You're still making people's day. You're still capturing people's imagination going, whoa, it's that Lamborghini SUV. You're still going to get that. You're still gonna get the showboaty kind of feeling, right? And I think that's what most people want out of the Urus is they couldn't get that 2-door car for whatever reason, or they find an alternative for their wife or their family to have a car that does everything. and it just so happens to be a Lamborghini. I think that's where they aimed this audience to be, and that also explains why they went with the Audi platform. Audi SUVs are great cars all around, and I understand why they went with it. This feels a lot like a German Trackhawk in a way. The Trackhawk is rowdy and obnoxious, while this is definitely more subtle when it comes to the exhaust note in the engine. But looks wise, yeah, it's loud. It's much louder than the Trackhawk. See, even through a tunnel, it wasn't even that loud. What do you think about the Lamborghini Urus? Do you think it was truly a Lamborghini, or is it just a little too Audi for you from an outside perspective if you've never driven one or been in one? It's a comfortable car. It works great as a very nice car. Is it a Lamborghini though? I'm leaning towards no, but I still really enjoy the car and what it's for. And on that note, guys, I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And I'll see you guys next time, but take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to PattersonCarCare.com or go to the link in the description below.